Hi guys, so today we have another special interview with one of our graduates, Bryce. Thank you, Bryce, for being willing to share your story and your breakthroughs with us, and your tips and everything that you've learned. I'm really excited to interview you. You've been working with us for about 3.5 months in a program and you've graduated, so that's awesome. Would you mind sharing what was your starting point? Where were you at in life, your health, before you started our program?
Before I started, I was at a point where I was missing work at least once a week because I was sick.
Mm.
Um, I had frequent migraines, stomach problems, digestive issues. I didn't feel like I could accomplish just normal daily tasks. It felt limited, and even things that my mind said I could do, I still had a struggle doing it because I just didn't feel up to doing it. And a lot of times I even felt guilty because I wasn't getting things done, and it affected, you know, time with my family, time with, work, friends, recreation. I was sometimes even scared to even go out and do something because I was afraid I was going to be sick.
Yep, I totally got that. And what are the biggest changes since doing the program? Where are you at now? What are the biggest changes or breakthroughs that you've seen?
I have more energy. I have more cognitive function. I have, I'm more open to people. I don't feel as guilty about my situations when things come up. I'm more able to handle them. There's been times where even if I know there's a trigger there or I'm gonna have a flare up, I'm able to usually work quickly to deter it. So I've been able to stop flare ups even with the tools that I've learned. Um, I feel more balanced. I feel confident in pretty much everything that I'm doing right now. So confident in myself, confident in my body's function and all that.
That's awesome. And one thing I remember from working with you, is your stress, how you were handling your stress or feeling like you couldn't handle stress. It was just like stress was constant for you. Would you speak a little bit about how that's changed for you, or how you manage stress, or maybe stress just, you don't feel stressed anymore? How does that look now?
Um, yeah, I've been able to, in between doing emotional clearings and um, vagus nerve exercises, breathing exercises, I've been able to work through stress, anxiety. I don't have some of the same triggers that I had before don't seem to affect me now. When it
Very
comes to
cool.
when things come up, I don't get freaked out over little things. I'm able to be calm through certain situations, even with working with people, because that's my job, work with people all day long and customers, and I'm able to even relax in that situation where I don't get overwhelmed.
Really good. Really good. Um, so what has it been like having the specific tools that you've gained in your program? Um, Can you speak a little bit about the tools themselves, or what it's been like to actually be able to get to the root cause of what you're dealing with and have that permanent solution in place?
Um, Muscle testing has been a great tool, but I've gotten to the point even now where I just use that kind of as my backup. My intuition has caught up to where that's a backup tool. Doing emotional clearings has definitely been a big help. Body code clearings, belief switches, some of those things have that one thing I noticed that makes a big difference. You wouldn't think that, you know, a limited belief, would affect you in such a drastic way, physically and mentally. But when you make that switch, it opens up a whole bunch of different things that you didn't realize that what's going on with you. And that's what I've kind of noticed with me is, using those tools, my function is so much higher than it was before. It's been a great blessing using those tools. And also, um, just knowing how to test for certain things, testing things and supplements, and getting myself caught up on those. That's been real great too.
That's so cool. And I love what you brought up, testing yourself, meaning you
Mm-hmm.
actually, instead of being bombarded with all of this, oh, you should take this or take that, it'll help this. Like, instead of being bombarded with all this information, like, what should I do? What's going to work for me? You can actually test yourself for what's good for you, for what you need, what you don't need, like what's going to work, what's not going to work. And that way you have all the power. You're not dependent upon us or anybody else. You like know how to take care of yourself. So that's really extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay. What do you want other people to know about healing or this work? What do you want them to know?
I want them to know that, that it's reversing your illness is totally possible, and that stick to it. Don't give up, because it's totally worth it. I mean, at beginning I did feel overwhelmed with it a little bit, but it's been totally worth it. You know, don't give up. Don't settle for just okay. Go for it. You can do it. You can get through it, and you can take your life back.
Awesome. And when you started, I mean, obviously you enrolled into the program, so you had enough trust and faith that it was going to work. But can you speak to, I feel like a lot of people experience doubts that it's even possible. Like, you're here on the other side of the program saying reversing your illness is possible. I've done it. You can do it too. But like, can you talk to why you enrolled in the program, even though you didn't really know, you didn't have any evidence that it was actually possible for yourself? Like, what had you really commit and not give up on yourself?
I was at a point where, I didn't really know what to do. I've tried different things, and yeah, some things kind of worked, and it gave me an idea, but I wasn't getting there all the way on my own, and I was getting tired of talking to other, health specialists and try to let them figure it out. And doctors are not real. Sometimes it can be kind of negative because they don't know what to do a lot of the time. So they just say, "It's in your head," or whatever. And so I was at that point where I got to do something, because where my life's going right now, I'm not going to be functioning. I'm looking at the future of getting older and not being able to function. And I have kids that are still young, and not being able to spend time with them, to play with them and stuff like that. That's big motivation. And all the projects that I want to get done, the things that I want to do, the goals that I have in mind. I want that to become a reality, but to make that reality, I had to invest in myself, and that was something that I also struggled with. Was I wanted to invest in so much more other things, I was forgetting to invest in myself, and I had to really sit down and get deep with myself and realize that you need to invest in yourself first. And that was the big motivator of getting into this program, is putting that investment in myself.
That's awesome. And I know you mentioned like seeing other doctors, seeing other specialists, them not knowing what to do for you. I know you had tried other diets and supplements and oils and like all these things before you came to us. Can you speak a little bit to what was different about this that really had this work for you versus all those other things that kind of worked maybe some of the time? What was different? What do you think was the biggest breakthrough or the biggest tool or gift or reason why this worked?
I think the biggest thing is, getting on the right nutrition plan for sure, along with using what other supplements I was using, oils, stuff like that. Still use those, but it all has to kind of work together. Where before, I was using one or the other, or trying to mix it up and on and off again with different ideas and diets. Um, I tried to target my digestive system several years ago, and I thought I corrected it, and then it just totally went just as bad as it was 10 years ago. So, and like, okay, well, I can't keep going back and forth here. But getting into where I could have confidence in testing what my body needed for myself, and getting that confirmation, from what you were telling me to get started with, that really got me going there. And then just having that, the affirmation that you can do this. That's what this program, that's what you have done, for me, is you instill that confidence in people to make those changes.
That's really cool. Oh, I might mute you for a second just because we're getting feedback, but the right combination of things. So it's not that we did anything totally new or different. It's that we really honed in on what you needed and taught you to hone in on what you needed. So you might be doing 90% of the puzzle right, but if you don't have the right combination of things that are getting to your needs, it might sabotage the whole thing. And I hear so much, I'm glad you brought this up, about people that they got better and then they get worse. And then they try these coping tools and it kind of works some of the time and then they crash. So it's that just means that there's a root cause that's not identified or addressed. And it's so cool because the confidence, your flare-ups, tell me if I'm right about this, but since the start of the program, you haven't been on that same crazy roller coaster. Your flare-ups are smaller, a lot farther apart, much easier to manage. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yep. So it's you really have a sustainable results, not just oh, there was a Band-Aid, I feel better for a day or a week. So that's really great. And another thing that you said that really stood out to me before we wrap up is that you had to invest in yourself first. And you had all these other things that you wanted to invest in, that you should have invested in, that you could have invested in. But why was it important to get yourself and your health first?
If I don't get myself functioning first, get myself repaired, how am I going to get anything else done? Is what it came down to. Is in order to get these other things done, I got to function. And, I got to be able to, perform the work that needs to be done, work to make money, whatever the case is. And if I'm not investing in myself, then I can't invest in anything else because I'm falling apart. I'm working on a house. It's a fixture-upper, and I had to kind of liken it to that. It's okay, this came to my mind. You have a house, it needs fixed up, and you want to sell it, you're investing in it so it has more value. Your body's the same way. You got to invest in it. You got to do the upkeep on it. Otherwise, it's going to fall apart. It's kind of like the house. So,
cool.
You don't invest in yourself, you don't invest in anything else.
Yeah, and I don't know this, so I really am asking, have you seen movement and progress in all those other areas since you've been focusing on your health?
Yes, there's been progress. It still seems a little slow, but it's definitely picking up.
Cool. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Okay, anything else that you want to address specifically about working with me or Alicia or anybody on our team? Any other parting thoughts before we go?
I have to say that it's been a great experience working with both you and Alicia. Like I said, the way you present things, it definitely instills confidence and courage, and this makes me feel motivated, it makes everyone feel that way. We feel motivated to do this because of how you present it, and really appreciate that.
I love to hear that feedback. Because that means people don't have to believe in themselves. We'll get you to believe in yourself. You just got to make that choice. So that's great. Well, thank you, Bryce. Your share is so powerful today, and you paving the way for everyone after you to choose their health and their life and to accomplish those goals they want. It's just such a contribution to hear your story. And for those of you listening, look, if you're struggling with what Bryce is struggling with or something similar, you know, and you want to talk to us, please let us know. The first step is you can schedule a free breakthrough call with us. The link is in the comments. And that's where we can really take a deep dive into your health and your symptoms and what's working and not for you. If we can help you, we'll let you know what that looks like. If not, we'll point you in the right direction. We don't take on anybody that we know we cannot help. So that's the next step for you. If this is resonating with you and you're ready to put yourself first and you're really ready to dive in and do the work and you're at the end of your rope, you can't keep suffering, that's a perfect time, especially in the events that are going on right now that are filled with a lot of uncertainty, stress, and fear. Now's a really good time to make sure you're under control mentally, emotionally, physically, and you've got what you need and you know how to always get what you need. So thanks again, Bryce, and I look forward to seeing you around in our graduate group, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.